Let me guess, lately, it feels like stress is winning the battle, doesn't it? You're trying to control everything, every detail, every outcome, but the harder you push, the more it seems like everything falls apart. Am I right? Now, let me ask you something. What if instead of holding on tighter, you learn to let go? Because, my friend, that's where the real power lies. In this video, I'm going to share something that could change everything: how to manifest what you truly desire without burning yourself out in the process. Yes, it's possible, and no, I'm not talking about magic tricks or sitting around waiting for things to happen. Today, you're going to discover powerful principles inspired by Stoic philosophy that will teach you how to let go of stress, take back control of your life, and, most importantly, attract what you've always dreamed of. I promise you, it's not what you're expecting, but that's exactly why it works. Are you ready to unlock the power that's already within you? Before we go any further, I want you to step into someone else's shoes for a moment. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. Javier was a top executive, one of those people who seemed to have everything under control: a packed schedule, big decisions to make every day, and constant pressure to never fail. But at what cost? One day, in the middle of an important presentation to his team, something happened that he never saw coming. His body said, "Enough." Out of nowhere, he couldn't move or speak. A panic attack left him completely frozen. Javier, the man who always had an answer for everything, felt vulnerable for the first time in years. In that moment, something inside him screamed, "What am I doing with my life?" On a friend's advice, he did something he'd never imagined. He disconnected. He went to a cabin in the mountains. No emails, no phone calls, just him and silence. At first, his mind wouldn't stop racing. What's happening at the office? What will people say? But slowly, something began to shift. As he walked the trails and listened to the wind through the trees, he remembered a phrase from Marcus Aurelius: "Accept everything that happens, even if it's different from what you expected." And then, as if a fog had lifted, he understood. Javier realized he didn't have to control everything for things to work out. When he returned to the city, he stopped cramming every gap in his schedule with meetings. So what did he do with his free time? He made space for things that mattered: time to reflect, to take care of himself, and to enjoy his family. And here's the most surprising part. When he let go of the need to control everything, things didn't fall apart. In fact, they got better. The atmosphere at work improved, results skyrocketed, and, for the first time in a long while, he felt at peace with himself. Now, let me ask you, how many times have you felt like Javier, carrying a weight that seems impossible to let go of? Maybe today is the day to say enough and discover what happens when you let calm work its magic. Are you ready to give it a try? Let's get started. Here's your text in paragraph form, preserving every word. Already have through new eyes. So often we're so focused on what's next, what we're chasing, that we forget to appreciate where we are now. But here's the secret. When you start being grateful for what you already have, something shifts. Life feels lighter, stress fades, and almost like magic, you begin to attract more good things. And speaking of seeing what we already have differently, let me tell you a story that perfectly illustrates this. It's about a farmer who, like many of us, couldn't stop thinking about all he was missing until he learned an unexpected lesson. Every day, he complained about how small and uncomfortable his house was. "There's no space, I can't rest, why does this have to be my life?" And he was convinced his life would be better if only he had a bigger, nicer house. One day, desperate, he went to the village wise man for advice. The wise man listened and then said, "Do this, bring your chickens inside the house." The farmer was surprised but obeyed. The next day, he returned complaining, "This is worse. I can't move with all these chickens." The wise man smiled and said, "Now bring the pig inside." Again, the farmer did as he was told, but by the third day, he came back furious. "This is a disaster. I can't take it any more." The wise man then told him, "Now take the chickens and the pig out." When the farmer returned home, he realized something incredible. Suddenly, his small house felt spacious and peaceful. The size of the house hadn't changed, but his perspective had. For the first time, he appreciated what he had. Do you see? Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances. Everything might stay the same, but do you know what it does change? The way you see them. And when you shift your perspective, you start noticing opportunities that were hidden before. The magic of gratitude isn't just that it transforms your mood, it's like it activates a spell in your life. According to psychologist Robert Emmons, being grateful for what you have works like a magic wand, helping you see opportunities where before you only saw problems. This magic aligns you with what truly matters to you, and the best part? You don't need any special tricks to do it. Gratitude is the wand you've always had in your hands. Of course, this idea isn't new. Seneca once said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." For the Stoics, gratitude was a daily practice. They gave thanks for the small things, the bread they ate, the sunrise, or a meaningful conversation, because when you train yourself to see the good, you stop wasting energy on what's missing. And by doing so, you open the door to manifesting even more good things in your life. So, how can you practice gratitude? Don't worry, this isn't the usual write down 3 things every day advice. Let's try something different. Set aside a moment once a week to reflect. Find a quiet spot, grab a piece of paper, and write down 3 things you're truly grateful for. But here's the trick, don't stop at writing them down. Ask yourself, how have these things contributed to what I want to achieve? For example, maybe a friend's support has kept you strong, or a recent challenge has shown you what really matters. Reflecting on this doesn't just help you relax, it starts aligning your mind with your goals. The more you focus on the good you already have, the easier it becomes to attract what you want. It's as if every small thing you're grateful for builds the path toward your goals, step by step, without you even realizing it. My friend, let me ask you, what are you grateful for today? Share it with us in the comments. This simple act could be your first step toward manifesting what you desire, because when you're grateful, you're telling the universe, I'm ready to receive more. Disconnect from the noise. Have you ever tried listening to your favorite song in the middle of a street full of honking cars, sirens, and shouting? No matter how hard you try, the noise drowns it out, right? That's exactly how we live today. Every notification, every random conversation, every news alert bombards you like that background noise, making it impossible to focus on what really matters. Now let me ask you something. How do you expect to discover what you truly want if your mind is trapped in constant chaos? If you don't silence that noise, if you don't create space, you'll never hear the music inside you. Look around you. How much time do you spend watching what others are doing, scrolling through social media, reading headlines that seem urgent but, let's be honest, you'll forget by tomorrow? All that noise doesn't just steal your time, it fills your mind with things that don't bring you closer to what you truly desire. Think about it. Every notification, every comparison, is like adding another layer of dust to a window. How can you see clearly when everything is smudged? But if you stop, if you disconnect for a moment, it's like wiping that window clean. Suddenly, you can see what's on the other side. You can see what truly matters, your ideas, your dreams, the opportunities that have always been there but went unnoticed. Epictetus said it centuries ago, the free man is the one who is not afraid to go to the end of his thoughts. And what do you need to get there? You need to turn off the external noise. You can't reflect on your deepest desires when your mind is trapped in a constant barrage of distractions. Silence is the place where your thoughts have the freedom to grow, transform into actions, and eventually into results. Let me ask you, my friend, how many times have you felt like your mind is so full that you can't even think straight? Be honest. You're tired of it, aren't you? All that noise doesn't just exhaust you, it pulls you further away from what really matters. So, are you ready to do something that few dare to try? Let's turn off that external noise. But before we go further, I'll admit, it won't be easy. But trust me, it'll be worth it. Here's what I suggest, try a no-notification day. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to turn off your phone all day. Simply set specific times to check messages. For example, only check notifications at 9 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening. The rest of the time? Ignore them. Believe me, I tried it myself, and I noticed the difference immediately. Suddenly, I had time to focus on my projects, stick to my rituals, and most importantly, be present. Another idea, Spend time in nature. It doesn't have to be an epic hike. It could be a nearby park or your own backyard. Take 10 minutes to listen to the sounds around you, the wind, the birds, even the crunch of leaves underfoot. But no cheating. Leave your headphones at home. It's just you, your mind, and nature. You'll notice something amazing. It's as if nature reminds you of a slower, more authentic rhythm that's always been there for you. When you turn off the noise, it's like being a firefighter facing a blaze. First, you need to put out the flames of chaos and distraction. Only then can you see clearly what lies beneath. And in that moment, when everything is calm, your mind becomes fertile ground where ideas and desires can bloom. It's in this space of stillness that you can truly focus on what you want and start manifesting it step by step, without the flames of noise pulling you off course.